you want to be better, but I liked the way that we approached it tonight. I like some of the things that happened. I thought we took a step. Alabama State played in this tournament last year. They'll play in it again this year. I was concerned about the game. You know, they went at UAB, and everybody here knows Andy Kennedy's a really good coach. Everybody knows him around here. And they go win at UAB. Mike Roberts, who's is probably my best friend in coaching, is an assistant at New Mexico. New Mexico's really damn good. And they go into the pit, and they had a lead for 38 minutes or something like that, and almost get a win at New Mexico. I think it's an 8-point game in Missouri this weekend. And so I have a lot of respect for Alabama State, and I think they're a really good team. And I thought, you know, we played well enough that it didn't appear that way at times tonight. We were able to take them out of things. So for that reason, I'm pleased too. Baba Miller, you know, when he's playing with the right intention and right mentality, he's pretty special. And I thought he strung together 26 minutes of playing the right way tonight. And I challenged him a little bit this morning about being consistent with the things that matter. So it's really good to see. But you look down at 26 and 14 guys. I mean, that's something else. And 11 for 12 from the field. It was good to see he can shoot. I mean, he shoots like over 70% in our practices and all our shooting drills. But he hadn't made them to start the year, and you know it was great because the first one came inside out. And I think when you get to the basket, you get to the paint, the ball comes out. Those are easier shots, and it was a nice inside out play from Moo. And it was good to see one go down, and good to see him make some free throws. But I thought Baba's performance was great. I love 25 assists. They're a really good rebounding team. And in other high major games, they've been effective on the board. And, you know, that was something we challenged. So I'm glad we won the board. I'd like us to win it more significantly. I don't like their 17 offensive rating. They got 3 in one possession, for God's sakes, in the second half. But that was something we were talking about a lot. And then I don't know if I said it yet, but 25 assists, that's always a good thing when you see that.
The game is more than one person, but was there just a different comfort level with Jizzle out there between the team and the fans and everybody?
You know, this is just great to, you know, I think, you know, first off, I know there'll be some questions about Jizzle, so I can just go ahead and maybe try to answer some of them. You know, Brett had mentioned something to me earlier today. Jizzle's been back in town for a while now. He came back knowing that it was unlikely he'd play. He's told he wasn't going to play this year, and he still wanted to come back and be a Bearcat and be a part of the team. And I thought that was really special. He's worked really hard to even be in the position that he could come back here, and then he made amends with the guys and worked out just in the facility. And then we did add him to the roster so he could practice weeks ago. I can't tell you the exact day. And so I think they put a statement out that we added him to the roster, but he's been on the roster because he wouldn't have been able to practice if he wasn't on the roster. So whether it wasn't public, but he was on the roster and he's been practicing now for a couple weeks. The guys, our players, if he's assimilated back within the team, which has been really neat to see because it was a difficult summer. And he made some errors. He's owned those errors. He's done a lot of work to put himself in position to be here, and the guys have accepted him. And it honestly, it just, for a number of reasons, it just felt like the right thing to do. And the players had some say in that, and it just felt like the right thing to do. We've had a bunch of games where guys haven't been available the day of the game. Now Tyler wasn't able to go tonight, but Buck wasn't able to go with the back tonight, even after he gave it a try. And so it just felt like the right thing to do, and it was great to see him out there. But I'll tell you guys, I'm more proud of him for other stuff than basketball, but certainly it was great for me and for our team to see him on the court tonight.
I'll continue on that topic a little bit.
Okay.
With this situation and, you know, giving guys second chances, how much do you have to think about whether to be someone who lays down the law or be someone who wants to give that second chance and actually try to help someone grow and develop as a human being?
I think my college coach said to me, I think it was him, he said, if you just always kind of tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. I can't remember what I've said to you guys about it, what I haven't, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but my love for Jizzle is so far beyond basketball and even our team and our program. So I never personally ever gave up on him, and that's because there's a relationship and a bond, and this is a different era where guys maybe 1 year and all that stuff with what they've done with college basketball, but Jizzle's been here for 2 years before all this happened, and we recruited him the old school way. So there's been a relationship for 3 years, and I don't have children, and I don't pretend to be any player's parent because I'm not, but that's the meaningful part of coaching. So like with Jizzle, it was for a while, it had nothing to do with hoops. It was just trying to be there for him as somebody that's really important in my life and our staff. It's not just me and our staff. Our staff has been involved as well, and he did his part to give himself a chance to be a Bearcat again. But in terms of second chances to play, that's something different. Second chances to be a part of a team is something different, and he's had to earn the trust of the players and make amends and all that, and he went through that process. So as a coach, helping him and being in his life and being a part of his ability to improve his life and work on what he was dealing with, there's nothing to that. Him being back on the team, that's something much different that involves other people, and I tried to be very careful about respecting the team through the entire process and not letting that be a distraction. And so some of the lack of color with you guys, even when he got back on campus, is out of respect to these players. Like, they're here busting their tail. They don't need to hear about Jizzle James after every game. And again, there was no intention to even play him this year, but over the last week or so, I think guys on the team were echoing those things, and it just made sense, based on some injury stuff and some availability stuff. And finally, he earned it and deserves it.
A lot of frustration after Saturday's loss when I talked to you. What did you see from your team over these past few days that encouraged you that they would respond the way they did tonight?
Frustration in regards to what? I didn't...
Just the way your team lost and performed in the second half against Georgia.
Yeah, I thought we were ready to play. I thought we had a great plan. I thought the guys bought into it, and we had a really, really nice start to the Georgia game. So it was frustrating that we, weren't able to sustain that. And then obviously the last 4 or 5 minutes was extremely frustrating. But no, we have really competitive guys that care, and I think they've known for a while that they have the ability to be a very good team. So there's no surprise. There's an expectation that they're going to show up and try to get it right, and I thought they've tried to do that this week.
How do you take this momentum and carry it over into Sunday?
Show up tomorrow and have the same mentality and approach that we had the last couple days.
Is it kind of striking to see the ups and downs of the offense with how consistent the passing has been and the ball sharing, and just, I believe you guys are top 10 nationally in assist rate this season, but obviously the scoring hasn't quite matched that. What have you guys kind of juggled with the fact that you're moving the ball really well on offense, but it hasn't necessarily gone in like you would want to before tonight?
Yeah, we've tried to work through this. You can try too hard as a coach sometimes. I think guilty of something. Maybe sometimes it's wanting too bad or trying too hard. But I think we've tried to figure everything out because we have some offensive talent, obviously, and some offensive ability in personnel, but trying to get it to the place where it's consistent. So there's a consistent offensive firepower. That's what we've been working through, and there's a lot that's gone into that, and there's a lot that we still have to work through. I think number one, when we have to take care of the ball, I like that. That's been maybe the most frustrating thing, is not, and they're not forced turnovers. There's a lot of careless turnovers. It's something we watch film. We've worked on it. We've try to watch film of it. We're trying to be accountable for it. And because, as you said, when we take care of it and we get a shot, we got a chance. When we don't even get a chance to shoot it, hell, that's pretty frustrating. So I think trying to clean up the turnovers and figure out the things that are – Dan Horde is playing music over on his phone. But, he's earned the right to make that error. Dan Horde's one of my favorite people that I've ever been around in this profession that I get to interact with. So he can make some mistakes. I got no problem. But no, I think the turnovers, the offensive rebounding presence. You know, there's been times it's like good, and there's times it's not. I think we're trying to making sure that we're getting the ball to the basket. You know, that we're getting the ball inside of the post, that we're not punting possessions by taking quick bad shots. And there was some of that there in the second half tonight where we just took a quick bad shot, but we're really working through that without trying to take away the confidence, because, you know, we do want to step up and shoot it. And then the free throw shooting, you guys, we had a problem the last couple of years getting fouled, and now we're getting fouled a little bit better. But our free throw conversion's been so poor, that needs to improve. So there's a little more to it than that, but I do think decision-making, shot selection, getting the ball to the interior to put pressure on the defense, and then trying to convert the free throws and the layups. I mean, I think that's the stuff that we have to really attack, and we have been.
One or two more for Coach.
You held them to under 30% from the field, 20% from three. Defensively, you're usually great 2-point defense. The last couple games, Georgia and Xavier, that's dipped. Has there been a renewed focus on that, and did you feel better about it tonight?
I think the 2-point defensive number can be somewhat misleading at times. I mean, in the Georgia game, the 2-point defense has a lot to do with the run-out layups that they got in transition in the second half, right? I mean, when you throw picks, we call them pick sixes, right? Like when you give up a bunch of pick sixes, they're shooting dunks on the other end and ones, and that's what Georgia did. And Georgia's really good at converting. So some of that wasn't in the half court. In the X game, some of it was in the half court, and we had to really address that. And it wasn't as much just like, let's address 2-point defense. It was breakdowns and pick and roll coverage in that game. But the turnovers that lead to the easy baskets out front, that's going to destroy your defensive numbers because you're giving up layups and dunks. And at this level of college basketball, people convert those. And I thought in the Georgia game that was, go back and look, you shoot yourself in the foot because you played great we played really nice half-court defense in the Georgia game. But then you spot them points by letting them strip you and they go down and dunk it, or throwing it away and they go down and get an and one. And that happened a lot. But yeah, we value how we protect the rim. And listen, that team we played tonight, they put some numbers up on people offensively, and I thought we guarded those two guards 20 and 2. They're terrific players. I can't imagine there's two better guards in their league than that. Anybody's got anything like that. But I thought we guarded the 3 well with those two, and then I thought we did a good job of protecting the rim, especially Bob Amu, and then some positional defense.
Sean Abayev hasn't necessarily shot the ball as consistent as he did prior to arriving here. When you look at other ways he can impact the game with his overall talent and abilities, what's been the emphasis with him over these first couple weeks of the season?
5 assists tonight. I think he's got a lot. He's going to shoot the ball well. I mean, you can bank that. You can take it to the bank. I mean, it's going to happen. He can really shoot it. He works at it like crazy. We have a lot of confidence in him. But I think him as a decision maker and a playmaker is probably the most untapped part of his game that is world class when he gets to where he does it consistently. And he's got to find the balance of scoring, shooting, playmaking, decision making. But I think he can do it as good as anybody in the country as he matures, and I think he's maturing into that player. And so I think he's got to be a decision maker, a shot creator for us. In all kinds of different scenarios out there, and he's really tried to embrace that. If you watch the beginning of the Xavier game, like in pick and roll, he's like making the right read every time against the hedge and starting the domino for us in the first half. So he can be a terrific decision maker and playmaker with the ball, and the shot's coming. The thing I'm shocked. I mean, he should be a great free throw shooter, and he's got to get back to knocking his free throws down.
Last one, Scott.
Jizzle's back and you'd like to get Jalen Haynes back. That's a welcome headache, I would think, just to get guys minutes. As long as you're playing like this, I would assume that's not a big deal.
I mean, it's been a hell of a run here for, it feels like 4 years of just like devastating injuries all the time. It'd be nice at one point to coach the team that you put together, you know, and wholly in a wholesome way. And I hope we get that opportunity. And you know, Jalen's working his butt off. Like I said, it's nice to have. If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I said there ain't no way Jizzle's playing. But it's nice to have him back in the fold. And so if we could get more whole with the way we put it together, I think that's what's best for the big picture for sure.